Hello, tropical fish keepers. Welcome to a special Thursday night edition of Aqua Alex Live. Welcome to this week's species profile here on Aqua Alex Live. I'm your host, South American fish keeper and monster fish hobbyist, Aqua Alex Cardinale. I hope you guys are having a great week and are getting ready for an awesome weekend. Tonight's species I'm going to talk about is a very popular fish in the aquarium hobby. It is so popular that you will see this fish swimming in every pet store and fish store aquarium. Every pet store and fish store carries this fish for a particular reason. And that reason is this fish is really popular. It has been popular probably since the aquarium hobby has been around. A lot of people believe this fish to be an algae eater and a fish that eats scraps from the bottom, and they think it'll keep their tank crystal clean. That is true to an extent. This fish does eat algae as a juvenile, but as it matures, it needs a more varied diet, and we're going to talk about that today. So today's species is one of my favorite species of fish, but I'll be honest and say that this fish can be a nuisance in the aquarium hobby. What do I mean by that? Well, this fish can actually be a fish that people buy. It outgrows their aquarium. It produces a lot of waste, and people will release this fish out into the wild, and it harms the native population. That's what's happening with this fish here in Florida. So this fish can be considered a nuisance to the aquarium hobby because people bring back their monster plecos to the local fish stores, and some of the irresponsible ones will throw them out in the waterways. But today, our species profile is going to be on the Common Plecostomus. The Common Plecostomus is a very popular aquarium fish, and for good reason. It will eat just about anything, and it looks prehistoric. Now, the Common Plecostomus you're looking at on the screen is a Common Plecostomus that was owned by yours truly, Aqua Alex Cardinale. This was a Common Pleco I had when I lived in Massachusetts, and I raised him to about a 2-foot size until I rehomed him. Very cool fish. I happen to enjoy Common Plecos, and you guys are going to learn a lot about Common Plecos today. So on today's video, I'm going to show you an image of a Common Pleco that I raised. I'm going to show you a video of my current Common Pleco eating algae wafers. I'm going to give you some facts on the Common Pleco, and then I will tell you how to keep and care for the Common Pleco in the home aquarium. This is going to be a fun show. So I appreciate everybody that is taking the time to watch this video, whether you're watching it live or you're catching the replay of today's video. I greatly appreciate your view. Shout out to the first-time viewers on my new live stream. I am now broadcasting live on my Facebook page, the legendary Alex Cardinale. So shout out to everybody there. So if you're watching this video and you have questions on Common Plecos, just post them in the comments, and I will answer all of your Common Pleco questions. So if you have questions or concerns regarding the Common Pleco, post them in the comments, and I will answer them for you. So let's get this show on the road, and we're going to start by showing a picture of a former Pleco that I had, and then I'm going to show you a video of my current Common Pleco that I have right now in my 125-gallon aquarium that is eating algae wafers. So here we go. And we're going to start with the picture of my past Common Pleco. Now, this Common Pleco I had in a 75-gallon aquarium, and I raised him from 6 inches all the way to 2 feet. He was a cool fish. He ate veggies like cucumbers, zucchini, and carrot. He ate algae wafers and pellets. Very, very unique fish, and he grew quickly. Common plecos do have the capacity to grow rather fast. So now let's get to the fun stuff. Let's see the pleco that I am keeping right now and a pleco that I plan on raising to 2 feet again. Here is my current Common Pleco. And after I show you my Common Pleco eating algae wafers, we'll get right into our topic and we'll start discussing the Common Pleco. Here is a video of my Common Pleco eating some algae wafers. So as you can see, this pleco likes to eat algae wafers. He also eats pellets and other fish food. I love my Common Plecos. They're pretty cool fish, and here's mine eating a algae wafer. So here's a video of my Common Pleco in my 125 to get this species care guide going. So as you can see, Common Plecos have a unique way of eating. I love the way that they suck on their food. It is pretty awesome. And that was a great way to start today's video. Now I would like to talk about what I personally like about Common Plecos. So here is what I personally like about Common Plecos. They are really hardy and they're really easy to keep in the home aquarium. You don't need specific water parameters. You don't need to have anything specific for them because they're really easy to keep in the home aquarium, and we're going to talk about that today. They're very affordable. Common plecos are very cheap. You can get a juvenile one for about $5, and a large one can probably be about $20 to $30 depending on the fish store in your area. They are a very nice fish, and they're very adaptable. You can keep a Common Pleco in with goldfish. You can keep them in with African cichlids or in tropical. Of course, obviously, I personally would just keep them with tropical, but they're really, really easy to keep. And they are good at taking care of the bottom of the aquarium. I mean, they're not going to do it all for you. You still have to do water changes, but they are relatively good at eating leftover food and stuff once they get some size to them. And I like their prehistoric looks with their scales, and they look awesome. Very, very cool sucker mouth catfish. It is really hard to kill a Common Pleco. Usually they would die if they're underfed and if they don't have plenty of food, but we'll talk about that when we get to talking about caring and keeping the Common Pleco. So we're going to start the show with some interesting facts on the Common Pleco. Did you know Common Plecos are thriving in South Florida rivers and ponds? That's right, in my area, you could go out and go to a canal or a lake or a river, and you're guaranteed to find a Common Pleco. This is due to irresponsible fish keepers buying common plecos, them getting huge in their aquarium, and then they release them in the native waterways. Not only in Florida, you can find them in Texas, you can find them in Georgia, Alabama, anywhere there's a warm climate, these fish are going to thrive. And they could possibly thrive in New England and other areas as well for quite a while. So they're damaging the native waters. And that's why a lot of people consider them to be a nuisance aquarium species, because people don't realize how big they get, and then they put them in the native waters and they damage the ecosystems here. Now, common plecos are sadly harming the manatee population here. They are sucking on the slime coat of the manatees, and that is damaging them, sadly. So there are fishermen that try to collect common plecos, and they bring them to the local fish store, or they euthanize them. It's just a shame that people release this fish, and it's just an awful shame. So if you're going to get a common pleco, do know they get big, and have proper spaces for them, or give them away to somebody that has a large aquarium or pond. Did you know there are many different species of common plecos? Most look alike, they look very similar, and there are only a few different cool looking species. So most of the common plecos in the aquarium hobby are of similar species. They're not all the same. But there is a couple species that are different, and that would be the marble sailfin pleco, aka the gibby pleco. That would be the gold spotted sailfin pleco, or the rhino pleco. Those are very cool common species of plecos, but the ones we're talking about today would be the sucker mouth catfish, the marble pleco, and the regular hypostomus pleco. There are a plethora of species of common plecos. They all basically do the same thing, and they all get quite large. There are some that will max out at 18 inches, while there will be some that will max out at around 3 feet. Did you know common plecos lose their taste for algae when they reach around 9 inches? So once your common pleco gets like that, then he's going to stop eating algae and just about algae. He's going to need to be fed a well-varied diet. And at that size, they'll take about just about anything. And we'll talk about what you should feed your common pleco in just a second. So those are some facts that you should know about the common pleco. Now let's get right into the common pleco care guide. After all, this is our species profile. So the scientific name for the common pleco could be a plethora of different names. As I mentioned earlier, there are many different types of common plecos in the aquarium hobby. You have the hypostomus plecostomus, and then you got the one that starts with the P. They all look very similar, and they all do the very same thing. They grow large, they eat a lot of food, and they produce a lot of waste. But they are a pretty cool fish, if you ask me, and I do like common plecos. Now, the hypostomus plecostomus is a pleco that was a lot more common than it is now. Most of the common plecos that come into the aquarium hobby belong to the hypostomus family, and the last name on the screen there, I for some reason can't pronounce that. And the last name on the screen is what my common pleco is, I believe. But nonetheless, they are all pretty much the same fish, just they're categorized in different species. The common names for the common pleco include common pleco, Amazon sailfin catfish, and suckermouth catfish. And some people call them the algae-eating catfish or algae eaters. Full grown size for a common pleco can be anywhere from 18 inches to 34 inches. It just depends on what species of common pleco you have in your aquarium. But the common pleco, regardless of whatever species, does grow quite large. 18 inches is large for a pleco, but imagine a 3-foot pleco. You will need a massive aquarium for a pleco that big. So my recommended aquarium size for common plecos, I would start off at a 6-foot aquarium, 150 gallons and above. 125 gallons the minimum. So my recommended aquarium size for a common pleco would be 125 and up. Obviously, the bigger, the better. And you're going to want to have superb filtration for a common pleco because they do produce a lot of waste, and you have to keep that in mind. This is a fish that eats a lot and poops a lot and shits a lot, so you're going to want to have plenty of filtration. The best filtration for plecos is sponge filters and canister filters, in my personal opinion. So let's talk about aquarium care for the common pleco. As I said earlier, this fish is extremely hardy, very easy to keep in the aquarium hobby compared to some of the more fancier, delicate plecos. The common pleco is a walk in the park. It is very easy to keep and care for. So really all you need for the common pleco is a large aquarium, plenty of filtration, some hiding spots, and the hiding spots can be driftwood or caves or lava rock, something that the common pleco can run and hide when it needs to feel secure. And then you can have substrate if you want. Sand or gravel is not going to hurt the common pleco. The water parameters, this is a South American fish that comes from South America, and the pH in South America is neutral. So the common pleco can be kept in a pH range of 6.4 to 7.8, but it can and will adapt to any water parameters. Just be sure to do your water changes because this fish does poop a lot. Now, it can adapt to tropical waters, which would be 72 to 78 degrees Fahrenheit, and it would be best to keep them in tropical waters, but they can be kept in ponds with koi and goldfish. That is a very controversial topic, and a lot of other aquarium hobbyists have different ways of feeling about that. Some are against it, and some are for it. I personally have nothing against keeping common plecos with koi and goldfish. I think they grow big enough to hang with the koi and goldfish, and they certainly would help take care of the koi pond. So they can be kept with koi and goldfish, and they can also be kept with African cichlids. I don't have a problem with that, but some other fish keepers definitely may have a problem with that, but that's on them. That's not a problem with me. They're a very hardy fish, and they can adapt to just about any water parameters. But the biggest thing with common plecos is making sure that they are healthy. Sometimes you'll buy a common pleco at your local fish store, and it will look very thin and emaciated, and you'll see skin and bones basically. And you bring that fish home, it's already stressed out, you acclimate it, and you add it to your aquarium, and then you find out it's dead. Well, that's because it was probably riddled with parasites. So I always recommend quarantining common plecos if you can, if you know that they're wild caught or if they look very thin at the local fish store. When you are selecting your common pleco at the fish store or pet store, look for one that is very fat and looks like it has ate, because then you're guaranteed to get a very healthy common pleco. So again, look for one that is round, has a round stomach, very fat, and look for one that is eating. And you're good to go. Just keep up on your water changes and have superb filtration. All right, the most important thing when keeping any pleco is its diet. You have to provide a good diet for all plecos to live. Now, luckily, the common pleco is one of the easiest plecos to feed. A lot of people are under the assumption that common plecos can just live on algae. No, that is not true. While it is true that they will eat certain types of algae, you have to supplement their diet with other types of foods. So things you can feed your common pleco would be fresh vegetables that have been parboiled. So you can parboil cucumber, zucchini, broccoli, and carrots, for example, and then put them in your aquarium with a fork. That way they'll stay and they'll sink to the bottom and they'll stay at the bottom where your common pleco and your other herbivorous fish can get to them. Providing vegetables to your common pleco's diet is very essential in having a happy and healthy common pleco. Now, they'll also eat any other food that hits the bottom of the aquarium. My common pleco loves shrimp pellets. He loves raw market shrimp that my wolffish and my Oscar and my other fish don't get to. He loves pieces of tilapia and fish flakes. So basically, common plecos will eat just about anything there is that you offer as long as they can get their mouth on it. And they start nibbling and sucking on it, they will eat it. Common pleco is very cool fish to watch eat, as you guys saw on my feeding video that I showed you a while back on this video. So common plecos will eat just about anything. Do not rely on them to just feed on algae, because as they mature, their taste for algae goes away. And the number one cause of pleco death is malnourishment and not getting enough nutrients. So make sure we are feeding our plecos quality food. You can feed them algae wafers, catfish pellets, herbivorous pellets and herbivorous foods, bloodworms, shrimp, etc. Just give your common pleco a varied diet and he will thrive, and you'll have a beautiful, healthy looking pleco in your home aquarium. And one of the coolest things about plecos is when they're on the aquarium glass sucking away, they look like a sea lamprey. They look like a lamprey, which is a pretty cool fish in my personal opinion. All right. So right now, I think it's time to take our commercial, which is being brought to us by my dear friend, Jeremy Stellhorn, who I believe has a common pleco as well as some bushy nose plecos. Now, Jeremy is the owner of Little Egypt Aquarium Club, which is a small aquarium online business ran by Jeremy. And Jeremy sells sponge filters, driftwood, fish food, and everything that an aquarium hobbyist would need. And he also has rapashi. Rapashi would be a great food to feed your common pleco. So find out about Little Egypt Aquarium Club and how you can save 10% with my discount code. And when we come back, we'll talk about tank mates for the common pleco, and we'll see more photos and videos of the Common Plecostomus. We'll be right back, folks. Don't go anywhere.
The following message is brought to you by Jeremy Stellhorn and Little Egypt Aquarium Club. Get our awesome aquarium products and find out how to save 10% using coupon code ALEX.
Hello, I am Brandy Cardinale the Beagle. I'm here to introduce Aqua Alex, and he has a special message. He's going to tell you a place where to get high-quality aquarium supplies and how to save 10%.
Hey everybody, Aqua Alex Cardinale here. I've got a very special announcement for you. My buddy Jeremy Stellhorn has an online business called Little Egypt Aquarium Club that specializes in aquarium supplies such as driftwood and pleco cave and also tropical fish food. Little Egypt Aquarium Club provides aquarium hobbyists with the specialized tropical fish food and aquarium supplies. I personally recommend Rapashi tropical fish food. Little Egypt Aquarium Club has plenty of Rapashi. You can find Rapashi Community Plus for all your community fish, and you can even find Rapashi Morningwood for your Royal Plecos and your Panicu Plecos that need wood in their diet. LittleEgyptAquariumClub.com, your home for all sorts of aquarium supplies and tropical fish food. Be like Aqua Alex and purchase Rapashi for your aquarium fish. I have predatory fish, and even they themselves love Rapashi. And get this, I, Aqua Alex Cardinale, love saving money when I buy quality aquarium products. I'm here to help you save money. So when you purchase from LittleEgyptAquariumClub.com, I'm going to give you a discount code so that you can save 10%. All you need to do at checkout is use coupon code ALEX to save 10% on your order. That's right, to save 10% on your order, just use coupon code ALEX. LittleEgyptAquariumClub.com. Every purchase helps Aqua Alex, and it'll help you as well. So go to LittleEgyptAquariumClub.com, place an order, and use the coupon code ALEX to get 10% off. Now, back to the tropical fish chat. Alrighty, welcome back to Aqua Alex Live and our species profile. And we've been talking about the Common Pleco, an awesome catfish that is available in the freshwater side of the aquarium hobby. And I'm enjoying talking about the Common Pleco with all of you. So before the commercial break, I showed you my Common Pleco eating algae wafers. I talked about some interesting facts, and I talked about some of their care. And now we're going to wrap up the show by discussing tank mates and then showing off some more Common Plecos in photos and videos. And then I have my final remarks on the Common Pleco. And again, if you have any questions on the Common Pleco, just post them in the comments and I will respond to them and give you the answers you're looking for in terms of Common Plecos. So the next thing I want to talk about for Common Plecos is tank mates. Common Plecos are really easy to keep, and as I said earlier, they're very hardy. They are not predators by any means of the imagination. They will not kill any fish. So you don't have to worry about that. You can have tank mates with Common Plecos, and Common Plecos can basically live with just about anything. You can keep them with neon tetras, rummy nose tetras, community fish like gouramis. Other plecos do well with Common Plecos, Corydoras, and you can keep them with monster fish like Oscars, Severums, chocolate cichlids, datnoids, arowanas, and larger catfish. So pretty much there's a wide range of tank mates that you can have with Common Plecos. Just do not put a 2-inch Pleco with a 10-inch Oscar because the Oscar will eat it and most likely die because of the spines that are on the Common Pleco. If you want to have a Common Pleco in with your large fish, make sure it is size appropriate so that the fish does not try to eat it and die a very painful death. That's the one thing you have to worry about with Plecos is that if a fish tries to eat it, they're likely going to either suffer a serious injury or die. And that is not one thing we want to do when we're keeping Plecos with our fish. Plecos are a very nice fish, but they're certainly not a fish to be messed with because they know they can harm other fish, which is pretty cool if you ask my opinion on that. So those are the tank mates you can have with common plecos. And you can have more than one common pleco. They do well with other common plecos. Just make sure you have proper filtration. You do a lot of water changes because these fish do produce a lot of waste. So we have some people in the chat. Hey, Jimmy Lopek, how you doing, buddy? Yes, we are live now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Steve's Aquatics is in the house. Steve says, hey there, everybody. Hey, Steve, how are you? And Steve says, my angelfish died from eating a baby pleco last month. Yes, it's very, very unfortunate. Plecos have the armor to dislodge into the predator's throat. And once it's dislodged in there, that fish is going to die because it's really hard to remove. So the pleco knows it's going to die. So it says, you know what, I'm going to kill this fish too. And it gets its armor in there. And it's really hard to remove. So that's why I always tell people that have predatory tanks and they have Oscars and stuff, if you want to add a common pleco, make sure it's bigger than the Oscar or at least size appropriate so that you have both fish and you can keep and raise both of them together, because that is really, really important. Otherwise, you're going to lose one or the other or both. All right, so now it's time for the fun part of our species profile. And now I get to show off some photos and videos of other tropical fish keepers, common plecos. So let's check that out right now. Now, here is a common pleco that is doing one of the things that I like about plecos, and it's sucking on the glass. I always find that very interesting about the common pleco, and I think it is pretty cool. Very, very cool fish, if you ask me. And here's another common pleco. This one's a pretty decent size. This one looks to be about 10 or 11 inches or so, and is being kept with Oscars, which is a pretty common tank mate for a common pleco. And these next two pictures just show you how big common plecos can actually get. Look at the size of the common pleco that this gentleman is holding. A very, very large common pleco. And then here is a group of large adult common plecos. Remember I said common plecos can grow anywhere from 18 inches to 3 feet, which is a very, very large pleco. So do keep that in mind. And this is a picture of a common pleco that I owned that I grew to 2 feet when I was living in Massachusetts. Very, very cool fish. So common plecos are a very awesome and interesting fish, and I enjoy keeping them in the home aquarium. Steve actually has a really good question on plecos. Steve is wondering, is it true that if you don't feed a adult pleco enough food, that it can suck on the slime coat of other fish? Yes, unfortunately, that is very true with common plecos. If common plecos start to feel hungry and that they feel like they don't have enough food, then they will start attaching themselves to the sides of other fish, and they will suck the slime coat of that fish. And certain fish species can actually die from that. Fish like the bikers or the Polypterus can suffer wounds and die from that. Fish like stingrays can definitely die from that. So if you want to keep common plecos with Polypterus or stingrays, then you really need to make sure that they're getting enough food. Not just common plecos, but all plecos that are going to be kept with Polypterus or stingrays. Make sure that you are feeding them well, because if you don't, then one of the results of that could be that your pleco will suck on your Polypterus or your stingray slime coat so much that it results in that fish suffering a bacterial wound, and then it dies. And you lose a $1,000 stingray, because there are stingrays that cost that much money. Or you lose a very expensive Polypterus to a $5, $20 common pleco. So keep that in mind. Make sure that all plecos are well fed, not just commons, because they will attack the slime coat of other fish. And that happens with a lot of South American algae eaters. I've noticed that flagtail protelotus do that as well. If they're not getting fed well enough, then they'll go after things like silver dollars, bala sharks, tinfoil barbs, etc. So that was a great question, Steve. I'm glad you brought that up. And hopefully it has educated other people who are thinking about getting common plecos, and they have fish like bikers that could be fair game to the pleco if the pleco is very, very hungry. So once again, Steve, thank you for that great question. All right. This is a very, very common fish in the aquarium hobby. So I'm sure a lot of people know that, but some people may not. So that was a great point. All right. So now it's time for my final remarks on the common pleco. The common pleco is a very unorthodox and unique looking fish, but it does get pretty large. Like I said earlier, 18 inches to 3 feet, depending on the particular species. And there are a plethora of species under the common pleco name. So make sure you're aware that the common pleco does get large and that you have appropriately sized aquariums. 125 gallons and above is best for a common pleco. Now, if you want a pleco and you only have a 55 or a 75 or anything less than that, a bushy nose pleco or any of the ancestral plecos are just like common plecos, and they're just as hardy and easy to keep as the common pleco, and you can definitely take a look at them in your home aquarium. Now, if you ever see a common pleco or any pleco for that matter sucking on a dead fish, don't worry. That's a natural instinct on the plecos. They like to, for some reason, attack dead animals, and dead fish are what they do in the wild and in the aquarium. Like I said earlier, they're not predators. They're not going to purposely kill anything. But if there's a dead fish in there when you're sleeping, the common pleco probably will take a lot of skin off of it and eat it. Nothing you can do about that. That's just how they act in a home aquarium. I'm pretty sure they do that in the wild as well. And common plecos are really affordable. Like I said earlier, you can buy a baby one for maybe like $6, $7, and their price increases a little bit as they get larger. But once they start hitting that 12-inch mark, they are very hard to rehome, and most fish stores are probably not going to want to take them because they are a nuisance fish at that size. So keep that in mind. If you want a common pleco, make sure that you have a tank big enough to house one. All right. I hope you enjoyed today's species profile, and I hope you learned a lot about the common pleco. Should you have any further questions on the common plecos, post them in the comments on this video, and I will definitely answer them for you. As you guys know, I like interacting with all my viewers, and I like answering all of your questions when I can. So before I end today's video, I do have a couple of announcements to make. Tomorrow, Friday, April 1st, 2022, I have a special episode of Aqua Alex Live coming your way. It's going to be another Aqua Alex's Top 10, and I will be discussing the 10 fish that I should consider keeping in my 55 gallons. So you guys are going to help me decide what I can keep in my, what I should keep in my 55 gallon. I'm going to give you guys 10 ideas, and whichever comments get the most comments, whichever idea gets the most comments will win, and that will be what my 55 gallon will become. So check out that episode tomorrow, Friday, April 1st, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, right here on my YouTube channel, The Legendary Alex Cardinale, and on my Facebook page, The Legendary Alex Cardinale also. Be sure to email your tropical fish questions and send your fish and aquarium photos and videos to Alex Go Yankees Cardinale 19 at gmail.com. The April 2022 Fish Keepers Q&A is going to air on a Wednesday in April. It's going to air on Wednesday, April 27th, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. So send in your tropical fish questions and I will answer them. And I look forward to showcasing your fish and your aquariums. So send your fish and aquarium photos and videos to Alex Go Yankees Cardinale 19 at gmail.com, and also send your tropical fish questions there. So this has been an awesome video. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And we're going to end today's show on what Steve has echoed. And I mentioned this earlier on in the video, and I agree with Steve. Please, please, everybody, do not release your large common pleco into your local river and streams. It is a major problem right now. And as I discussed earlier in the video, it is a major problem where I live. The common plecos are harming our local manatee populations. So Steve and I are on the same page. Do not release your large common plecos into your local rivers or streams. Contact local fish stores. Contact large fish rescues if you have any in your area, or even places like I forgot the name of that sporting goods store that has like a big monster display aquarium, but they may be able to take a common pleco. I've had friends that were able to do that in Connecticut, so that's an option as well. But don't ever put them in the local rivers or streams because it will harm the local population. So having said that, I want to thank everybody for tuning into today's video. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up and hit the like button. And if you are a new subscriber to my YouTube channel, please hit that subscribe button. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching this video. And remember, good quality food and clean water equals a happy, healthy fish. Take care and enjoy the aquarium hobby. Goodbye, everybody. Hey, fish keepers, you know who I am. I'm Aqua Alex Cardinale, and I made my name on a podcast known as Aquatic Wetline, my most successful podcast that I ever hosted, and perhaps the most successful aquarium podcast out there, past or present. If you've never heard of Aquatic Wetline, just do a Google research and you will see all the amazing episodes that I have hosted. But today I'm excited and honored to tell you that Aquatic Wetline is making a comeback. Aquatic Wetline is coming back bigger, bolder, and better than ever. And Aquatic Wetline will be hosted right here on my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale. It will be a video podcast. That's right. Aquatic Wetline will be coming back as a video podcast. Now, Aquatic Wetline is coming back in a whole new platform and a whole new experience. Aquatic Wetline is coming back as a Fish Keepers Roundtable, which means there will be multiple fish keepers on the show discussing a wide range of topics. There's going to be two hosts and a fish keeper or multiple fish keeping guests. Aquatic Wetline Fish Keepers Roundtable is going to be hosted by me, Aqua Alex Cardinale, and one of my most loyalist subscribers, one of my most loyal audience members, a man that's been listening to Aquatic Wetline since its existence and has been following my YouTube channel, Steve's Aquatics. So Aquatic Wetline Fish Keepers Roundtable will be hosted by Aqua Alex and Steve's Aquatics. And there will be special guest fish keepers each month. It's going to be a monthly series. Aquatic Wetline Fish Keepers Roundtable will debut on Tuesday, April 26th, 2022, live at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on my YouTube channel, The Legendary Alex Cardinale. Our inaugural guest is going to be fish keeper James Anthony. Now, James and I have been friends for numerous years, all throughout my aquarium hobby. James is a great guy. He specializes in Central and South American cichlids and aggressive fish, just like I do. This is going to be the first time that I have James on my aquarium podcast, and I look forward to speaking about tropical fish with James, and I look forward to having a co-host on Aquatic Wetline for the first time in a long time. The topics for the April 2022 Fish Keepers Roundtable for Aquatic Wetline include how James, Steve, and I entered the aquarium hobby, what we have learned over the years. We'll discuss our mistakes and our successes. We'll give our advice to beginners. We'll discuss our favorite fish species and more. So make sure you guys mark your calendars. Aquatic Wetline Fish Keepers Roundtable debuts on my YouTube channel Tuesday, April 26th, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And again, it is live on my YouTube channel, The Legendary Alex Cardinale, Tuesday, April 26th, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Aquatic Wetline is back. Happy Easter from me, Easter Bunny Alex Cardinale. I, Easter Bunny Alex Cardinale, will be hosting the inaugural Easter 2022 Bash, which will be airing right here on this YouTube channel, Saturday, April 16th, 2022 at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Just one day before Easter, join me, Easter Bunny Alex Cardinale, for a special Easter Bash. The very first one to be hosted by Easter Bunny Alex Cardinale. Easter Bunny is proud to announce there will be Easter appearances by Aqua Alex Cardinale and Chef Alex Cardinale. Chef Alex is going to make one of my favorite treats. Chef Alex will show you how to make honey roasted carrots, and he will make one awesome Easter dessert, and Chef Alex will give tips for hosting a delicious Easter dinner. Now, I'm a bunny, but I love tropical fish. So I've called upon Aqua Alex to be on the Easter 2022 Bash. Aqua Alex will discuss Easter-themed aquarium fish, and he will discuss the saltwater rabbit fish, aka fox faces and the spotted rabbit fish. And Aqua Alex will discuss treats that I could give your fish as Easter Bunny Alex Cardinale. Now, I, Easter Bunny Alex Cardinale, we'll discuss my favorite Easter memories. I will have a message for people of all ages. I'll discuss the true meaning of Easter, and I may enjoy some Easter candy with all of you. It's going to be a fun time. Legendary Alex Cardinale is going to join me to paint some Easter eggs. So what will we paint the Easter eggs? You got to tune in to find out. Happy Easter, everybody. I hope you enjoy the Easter season, and most importantly, I hope you'll tune in to the Easter 2022 Bash, live Saturday, April 16th, 2022, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, exclusively on my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale. Happy Easter, and go get those Easter candies.